What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Michael and welcome to FudgeMuppet. As you may know, we've been doing a bunch of Mass Effect Andromeda content on the channel, and now we're bringing you our first Andromeda lore video. Today we're talking about the Angara, who are the new race you discover while exploring the Heleus Cluster of the Andromeda galaxy. I must admit, when I first saw this race, I thought they looked very weird, and they do, but they're far more interesting and fleshed out than I expected. Also, fact number 5 will have spoilers, so if you haven't completed the game fully, be sure to just listen to the first 4 facts. I'll warn you when it's time, and with that said, let's hop straight into fact number 1. The Angara are a completely new alien from a galaxy unexplored by Milky Way inhabitants, and as you'd expect, this has resulted in very unique biology. I'll go into what's different in a sec, but firstly I think it's interesting to acknowledge that the Angara still have a lot in common with humans. They are warm-blooded mammals, they are of similar height and stand as a bipedal with a humanoid shape. They are also sexually dimorphic, with males usually taller than females, and females possessing wider hips and rounder faces. More fascinating, however, is of course what makes them different to us. For example, Angara produce a strong bioelectrical field from their body. All organisms produce a natural field like this, but such a field is nothing compared to the intensity of that emanating from an Angara. In fact, the Angara can actually exert control over their bioelectrical fields for purposes such as communication. They also depend heavily on sunlight due to the electromagnetic radiation that the sun shoots out. Without this sunlight, an Angaran will experience a severe blow to their immune system, and if it continues for lengthy periods of time, it can even result in coma and then death. The Angara have had to adapt technology to their physiology in order to help them survive in places without much sunlight and actually use powerful ultraviolet lamps. Weirdly enough, the Angara do particularly well in cold environments, and you can even discover that some prefer to live on the snowy planet of Vold more than living on Aya. Their skin colors also vary between various shades of blue or mauve, occasionally even shades of green and tan, and their eyes are black with blue irises. As you also can't miss, they have these folds of flesh on the sides of their head that extend to their strange chests, and their hands have the bone structure for 5 fingers, but the final 3 are densely webbed together into a single digit. Their legs also have hock joints, implying that the Angara can move fast. Their taste buds are also different, as is their preference for food, as you'd expect. They are immune to spicy foods, however there are ingredients in candy, for example, which cause them a painful burning feeling. Fact number 2. The personality of the Angara is one that is very free with its emotions. Angara are not good at hiding how they feel, and they love to express themselves. If an Angara is pissed off at you, don't be surprised if you get punched in the face, and if they love you or you do something to make them happy, you can definitely expect a massive bear hug. Humans would describe the Angara as being very demonstrative with how they feel, and this ensures that feelings aren't bottled up and makes communication clearer and more straightforward. These aliens act larger than life, but unfortunately for Milky Way galaxy aliens, many Angara will show them distrust. Their mistrust of outsiders is mainly due to the fact that the only other aliens they have met before, the Ket, have done nothing except fight and enslave their species. While highly emotive, the Angara also tend to be quite militaristic in their thinking, in the same way that Turians are. They are straight to the point, don't like to waste time, and often showcase a dry sense of snarky humor. In fact, while they can be good at reasoning, are not quick to judge, and even give aliens chances, they can be pretty vindictive too. For example, Ephra tells Jarl to shoot the Pathfinder if he goes to do anything stupid. Fact number 3. Angaran society is quite religious and militant. There are many types of Angaran religion, but they all share the same basic theme of reincarnation. When an Angaran dies, he or she is reincarnated, with their soul staying in the family, making their lineage stronger. Sage Esmus explains that the soul grows multiple times and gets wiser each time as it sees through different eyes and has new experiences. The Angara also believe in heirlooms in a very spiritual way. They think that when a soul returns to its family, the person it inhabits can experience memories from the past through using objects like these heirlooms. These heirlooms tend to be ancient Angaran artifacts, and you actually experience this happening for real in the game, which tends to show that their religion isn't all hocus pocus. That explains their religion mostly, but how about their military? Well, the Angaran military force is known as the Resistance, and they wage battles against the Ket, most often to retrieve kidnapped members of their own species. Ephra is the leader of the Resistance, and the Resistance is actually the highly ruling body in Angaran society. You experience this yourself when Jarl interferes with Paran Shay's negotiations with the Pathfinder. Fact number 4. The Angara appear to have a very deep history, however, sadly for them and others who aim to study their past, much of it has been lost to time and of course to the Scourge. According to the Angara, they were originally a highly advanced species that originated from the planet of Haval, invented space travel and colonized many worlds in the Heleus Cluster. However, the appearance of the Scourge ruined the Angara's worlds, causing their civilization as they knew it to collapse, sending them into a dark age that lasted a century. Since the ancient Angara was split, they rediscovered space travel and became advanced yet again, this time re-establishing connections with each other throughout the cluster. Because of the split, the different Angaran groups created a variety of modifications to their original culture. This makes the Angara more diverse now, and in my opinion, far more interesting. As they began to expand once again, many longed to learn of their ancient ancestors. They colonized Kadara and Aya, and attempted to rebuild their civilization through the creation of a unified government. Sadly for them, the Ket invaded in the process in 2744, disrupting their progress. Details indicate that during the first contact with the Ket actually played the Angaran groups against each other, causing them to become overwhelmed. They supposedly caused trade to be messed with, and leaders to be assassinated. Once the Angaran figured out who the real threat was and who was causing them all this trouble, most of their powerful military had been exterminated. Multiple resistance groups were formed, but saw no form of success until 2814, when Ephra reorganized them into the official Angaran resistance we know of today. Another group of Angara exists called the Rokar, and this group of fighters are officially disavowed by Angaran society and the resistance. They hate aliens, all of them, including yourself and the rest of the initiative. The Ket have certainly caused trouble for the Angara in the past, and through hatred of aliens, have also damaged their progress and relations going into the future. Fact number 5. The fact with spoilers. This fact contains the true origin of the Angara, so if you haven't finished the game, you'll want to click off the video. So as you play through the game, you discover that the Angara were actually created by the ancient alien race, the Jardin. If you're still watching this video, you'll also know that the Ket are even created from the Angara, but it's all a bit of a mindfuck if you ask me. But anyways, the Jardin are the creators of all of the remnant technology and the ancient machines left behind, and we discover that they actually created the Angara too. They created the Angara centuries ago and seeded them on several planets within the Heleus Cluster. Why they were created, we do not yet know. When Zhao hears of this, he is very surprised, but later decides that it doesn't impact him necessarily because he is living and enjoying life, and his society operate with no influence from the Jardin. They appear free to do as they wish. It's kind of like if humans found out that we lived in a simulation. If you can't do anything about it and it doesn't change anything, who cares, right? After Mass Effect Andromeda, we don't know much about the mysterious Jardin, but people have speculated that perhaps this is a sort of reverse Geth and Quarian situation, in the sense that the Jardin are perhaps a race of AI that use organic bodies, and that the organic slaves created by such synthetic masters, the Angara, have rebelled against their creators. Now remember, this is all just a theory from someone called Ralok1 on Reddit, but it's pretty cool nonetheless, especially when you consider that the Angara could be optimized to integrate with remnant tech because of their bioelectrical fields. I mean, it's also weird that the Angara can even access the memories of their ancestors because of their souls, and that's a kind of spiritual thing to have in a sci-fi universe, and yet it makes sense and it's real. So perhaps that could have something to do with them being created and more artificial in nature. Again, it's just a theory, but we do know for sure that the Jardin did create the Angara in the first place. Subscribe to FudgeMuppet for more Mass Effect videos like this. We're really happy that you clicked on this video and watched it this far, and if you did enjoy yourself, please leave a like on the video and a comment telling us what you thought and how much you love the new alien race, the Angara. Social media links can be found in the description below. My name is Michael, and I look forward to nerding out with you again very soon.